What are the gun laws here in New York? Strict and confusing. They're even worse in New York City, which I'll cover in a minute. These are the laws as of the making of this video. Laws change often. I'm not an attorney, so if you need to purchase or want to buy or own or transfer a firearm in New York, do your own research. For starters, children under the age of 16 are not allowed to use firearms except under limited circumstances at shooting ranges. Residents need permits to purchase and own a handgun. That includes having to go through a criminal and mental health background check. Unlawful possession of a loaded handgun, even without the intention of using it, is considered a violent felony and carries a minimum of 3.5 years of prison time. There are primarily two types of handgun licenses available to residents in New York. The first is a have and possess. This allows you to have and possess a handgun within a certain specific location, i.e. your home or your place of business. The have and carry concealed license lets you actually carry it. And all handguns must be registered under that respective license, and those licenses must be renewed every 5 years. To get a concealed carry license in New York, you need to complete a firearm safety training course, submit 4 character references, disclose any and all adults living in the home, be subject to an in-person interview, and this one kills me. You need to list all of your social media accounts for the last 3 years. Note that a concealed carry license does not actually allow you to open carry. Open carry is forbidden with the exception of hunting. Now, if you want to purchase or own a semi-automatic rifle, that requires an entirely separate license in order to do that, and you have to be 21 years of age in order to get one. Magazines. You cannot have a magazine that holds more than 10 rounds, and that's been the case since 1994. If you owned one prior to that, then you had until 2014 in order to permanently change it or fix it so that it can't hold more than 10 rounds, throw it away entirely, give it to a law enforcement agency, or ship it to someone out of state. All private sales require a background check. Dealers can't charge more than $10 for that background check. Transfers and sales within the immediate family are exempt. Confused yet? We're just getting started. Even if you've gone through the entire permit, license, the entire process to legally own and possess and carry a firearm, you cannot do that in quote-unquote sensitive locations. What's a sensitive location? Well, that's a good question. Sensitive locations include, but are not limited to, any government building, any health service building, churches, libraries, playgrounds, parks and zoos, schools, colleges, universities and summer camps, homeless and other shelters, public transportation, any bar or restaurant that sells alcohol, theaters, stadiums, racetracks, museums, amusement parks, performance venues, concert halls, exhibit halls, conference centers, banquet halls, and gaming facilities, polling places, gatherings of people to collectively express their constitutional rights to assemble or protest, and in Times Square. Now, what about a quote-unquote assault weapon? Haha, right? How do you define assault weapon? Well, that depends. Is it a handgun, a rifle, or a shotgun? It's defined differently. So let's head over here to gunsafety.ny.gov. Gun safety in New York State, hover over resources for gun owners. And here we have an assault weapons section. Pistols, banned features. It's a semi-automatic and has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and one or more of the following military characteristics. Folding or collapsing stock, thumbhole stock for all of those, pistols with thumbhole stocks, second-hand grip, magazine that attaches the pistol outside the pistol grip, and a threaded barrel shroud, and an unloaded weight of 50 ounces or more. And then they, of course, give you some examples for those that are unfamiliar with these characteristics. Barrel shroud, and threaded barrel. Okay, now let's look at rifle banned features. Assault weapon rifle is going to be a semi-automatic rifle capable of receiving a detachable magazine and one or more of the following: collapsible stocks, protruding pistol grip, thumbhole stock, second hand grip, bayonet mount, flash suppressors, muzzle brakes, muzzle compensators, threaded barrel, and grenade launcher. Sorry guys, all those grenade launchers that you own, you can't use them in New York. Folding stocks, you get the idea. This very, very dangerous thumbhole stock is banned. Bayonet mount for all of you people running the streets with your bayonets. Last but not least, shotguns. Semi-automatic shotgun with one of the following: collapsible stocks, thumbhole stock, second hand grip, fixed magazine capacity in excess of 7 rounds, ability to accept a detachable magazine. Here are your examples: the dangerous thumbhole stock, second hand grip, fixed magazine capacity with extension tube essentially, and a detachable magazine. Everything I just told you applies to the entire state of New York. These also apply to New York City. If you want a handgun in New York City, you need a New York City issued handgun license. If you want a rifle or shotgun, you need a New York City issued rifle or shotgun permit. If you want to buy a handgun in the city, you need a permit to do that. It's an authorization. It's good for 30 days. You can only buy one handgun every 90 days. The same rule applies to long guns. Once you buy a handgun, you have 72 hours to present it to the police department license division for inspection. Once you buy a fifth handgun, you have to present evidence of owning a gun safe. Last, but certainly not least, you can only own the ammunition for the guns that you have registered. In other words, if you only own a 9mm, you can only own 9mm ammunition. Let me know what you think of all of these laws, rules, and regulations in the comments section. Catch you in the next video.